Unless you have been living under a rock, you'll know that Elon Musk has bought Twitter for a small sum of $44 billion. Pennies. Before the sale, Twitter was worth $37 billion and Musk held a share of 9.2%. His offer of $44 billion was 54% higher than its market value, so essentially over-offering. For months, there had been legal issues with Musk trying to back out of the deal. In response, Twitter sued him. However, in October, Musk went ahead with the purchase to avoid a trial. Since his takeover, Twitter has been an unmitigated disaster. His immediate action as the new owner was to fire hundreds of staff, those including roles that target misinformation and those that work on US elections. This was also days before the US midterms. His latest bright idea was to include a verification tick with every Twitter Blue subscription. Despite this apparently being an argument for clamping down on bots and fake accounts, this just accelerated the problem. As you can see from some examples here, many accounts with the blue tick have impersonated companies and politicians. We've got a fake Rudy Giuliani account saying Nancy Pelosi and I do not agree on many things. Sorry. Nancy Pelosi and I do not agree on many things, but them things thangin', I'll tell you what. And then we've got a fake George W. Bush saying, I miss killing Iraqis with a sad face, and a fake Tony Blair, same TBH. Or how about Mario sticking his middle finger up on the fake Nintendo of America account? All quite hilarious if you ask me, but it has been causing some problems for some brands and politicians. Curtis, what do you make of all this? Is Twitter being destroyed?
First, I want to dispel the idea of meritocracy. For those that don't know what meritocracy is, it means a society built on merit. Those at the top are there for a reason. Elon Musk is an idiot, right? And he's the richest man in the world. Okay. All of his businesses have been essentially massive scams. I'm pretty sure all of his businesses have had a massive government subsidy, so he hasn't built the wealth himself. His dad made money from a emerald, was it a diamond emerald farm or mining company in South Africa. So his dad profited off of apartheid South Africa. So he's basically had everything handed to him on a plate. What we're seeing on Twitter is just more of an exposure of the type of person he is. He hasn't got a clue what he's doing. He's making policies on the whim. He's changing every 2 seconds. In fact, you look at his tweets, it looks like a little girl posting for him. He's not a poster. It's quite embarrassing. Now, in terms of the blue tick verification, every person, right, any random on Twitter could foresee what was going to happen. It's that, okay, well, people are going to just set up fake accounts with a blue tick and people are going to fall for it.
But that's what is kind of confusing because obviously the whole point, from his opinion, of introducing this Twitter Blue and this $8 a month subscription service to get this blue tick was that it was going to weed out the spam accounts and the fake accounts because, in his opinion, nobody's going to want to pay $8 a month for that. But actually, this has just proven that people, if they want to have a laugh, whatever. I mean, obviously, this is like, since when it launched on was it Friday, it was almost like intensified, like, loads of people were doing it. It was hilarious to see. But obviously, there were some instances where like it's caused shares to crash for some companies and whatever. But how did he not foresee that was going to happen?
Make no mistake.
How has he made such an awful business decision?
Make no mistake. Okay, he didn't introduce the verification subscription. It's Twitter Blue.
Yeah,
and that's existed for a while. They just extended it where you get a blue badge, right? Make no mistake, he didn't do it to weed out bots. That was just the excuse he had. There's many times where he's been on stage and people have asked him, what are you going to do about racism? What are you going to do about fake accounts? And then he'd be like, the blue ticks, they will get priority replies. And then utter crap. What he's done is he's offered a deal of $44 billion, realised how ridiculous that value is because he's overvalued it, right? He couldn't back out. He tried to, couldn't back out, right? So he's been forced to purchase Twitter, okay? So he's trying to recuperate some money. He's realised that, oh crap, I need money. And one of the ways is this, because he's going to start it out, right, where some people can purchase Twitter Blue, right? And then he's going to create a 2-tier system where unless you subscribe to Twitter Blue, you're going to have really low engagement.
But that's apparently what he wanted to try and get rid of, because he said something about this peasants and
exactly.
whatever structure of...
Yeah. So he was like trying to play it in a way that those that are already verified have this privileged position, and those without verification are the peasants, right? And he's like, I want to get rid of this lord and peasant system where everyone can be verified. But actually the reverse has happened, because with verification, it's free. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, all right, you've got to be famous, you've got to be an official account, but technically anyone can do that. Yeah. There's no money blocking it, right? Now you've created a system where it's pay to play. So the more money you have, the more access you get, which is basically the same with everything in bloody society. Mm-hmm. So he's done that. Now he's trying to recuperate money because the Twitter is at a massive profit loss at the moment. He wants to slowly create Twitter as a pay-to-play for everyone. So he's going to start off with making Twitter as an experience for those who haven't got Twitter Blue so awful that they're forced to essentially buy Twitter Blue. Yeah. So he wants everyone to have it. Then he's introduced, because he's realized, oh, wow, okay, there's loads of fake accounts, which is funny, by the way. He must have known, because no one's that thick. But he's done it, right? And he's tried to scramble, like, oh, God, what do we do? So he said, all right, then, if you haven't got a parody in your name, for example, then you'll be suspended. Mm. I mean, people are doing that anyway, and it's not made it any less funny. Then he's come up with a secondary verification thing, which is like a smaller check mark to show it's an official
badge.
It's like, well, you had that before, which is the blue check mark. Yeah. So there's no difference.
Yeah.
And also in terms of advertisers, right? That's where Twitter gets its income from advertisers. Mm-hmm. Well, they're all pulling out because something like Nintendo, they've carefully curated this brand of a family-friendly brand. And now they've got fucking Super Mario with sticking his middle finger up. Mm-hmm. And he's just laughing. And Moss is just laughing at it, right? Mm. So advertisers are not confident with Twitter. I don't know. It's a guy who has too much money, who doesn't deserve to be in that position. I mean, I argue that no one should have that amount of money. Yeah. But at least in theory, in a meritocracy, the smartest guy, most tech-savvy, business-savvy guy should be there. It's clearly not Elon Musk.
Yeah, but obviously when he went in, he's gone and fired a load of people. Surely that's just going to make his job harder.
Again, that's part of trying to recuperate losses, right? However, and this is the thing, if you're supposed to be such a smart businessman, right, everybody knows that investment is also successful for a business. Now he's fired hundreds of staff. He's realized, oh my God, now in terms of like content moderation, there's been an explosion of bots and fake accounts. He needs some of those people back. He's been asking people to come back. And they're like, well, fuck you. You just fired me via email.
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, so the way he's running Twitter is appalling. Now, he's been the same with all of his other businesses. It's just been less obvious. But I think, he's been exposed here to more people.
So when he took over, the use of the N word increased by about 500% in the first few days, and he's been very vocal about bringing back free speech to the app. So do you think we're about to see this new wave of internet hate? It's already quite prevalent, I would say, on social media, but surely he's just opened up the gates.
There's been certain accounts that were banned for years. One particular account, I can't remember the name, and I won't say the name. Now his account, he's a so-called Swedish journalist, but he's a conspiracy nut. Right. He's over the years he shared anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, denied the Holocaust, anti-black racism, Islamophobia, sexism. Not even subtle. It's gross, and this will get you banned off any social media. He's back on there. So, and obviously, he's saying, "Oh, free speech is back." It's not. Free speech isn't back because it's not a binary.
It's never gone away.
Well, it's not a binary thing. Yeah. Free speech is way more complicated than that. Mm-hmm. But put it this way: there isn't more free speech because of Elon Musk. Because what's happened is you've got racists who can say racist things, right? Which isn't necessarily open up free speech. That's just open up hate speech, right? But at the same time, he's deleting accounts that take the piss out of him. Yeah. So fake Elon Musk accounts, he gets upset about it and then he suspends them. Yeah. Look, if you want to be a free speech absolutist, okay, racism might rise, but surely everything
Then
else
so
is game.
everything else has to stay. Yeah.
But no, he's a child. He's a man child. Even like when you watch his other stuff, he's an absolute child. There's a video of him on the internet with another guy. They're just watching memes together. Mm-hmm. He's an absolute child.
And I think obviously, the conversation of free speech has been increasing a lot recently, but in a lot of ways, people who advocate for free speech essentially just want the freedom to say whatever the fuck they want. They want freedom to hate speech, essentially. So I guess as we know, it's more about being able to say whatever you want, free of consequences, rather than actually having true free speech. Because like you said, if it was a case that they wanted true free speech, then yes, you'd have all the bad stuff, but you'd also have the stuff taking the piss out of you, and you've just got to ride with it. But he doesn't. He throws his toys out the pram and deletes it all.
The political right have adopted free speech as their core tenets of their ideology, right?
And if you fight against that, you're woke.
Well, that's the thing. It's always
you're
been
into
crap.
cancel culture.
Exactly. It's always been utter crap that the right are in favour of free speech. They've never been in favour of free speech. What they want, is to say bigoted things.
Yeah.
But not just that, to have no consequence from it.
100%.
And they don't want anyone to say anything back. Okay? Yeah. Freedom of speech, would mean a right-winger says something bigoted, and then someone else goes, hey, that's bigoted, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. Because that's their free speech. They're enacting their free speech by telling you you're an idiot. But they get offended like, oh, I can't say these things. Oh, I'm being cancelled. Well, no, you're being held to account.
Yeah.
But the right have never cared about free speech. They just want to say their political points and everyone else has to shut up. That's not how it works.
So what is next for Twitter then? Just keeps crashing and burning?
Well, I think that, the Twitter Blue, the verification tool has already been pulled back after 2 days.
Yeah.
So he's realised this is not going to work. Two things there's two paths. One path is he's going to carry on being an idiot because he can't help himself, which seems very likely. He is a child, the way he tweets and stuff. And Twitter will just go down the pan. It will cease to exist because advertisers will pull out.
Yeah.
And loads of people are leaving. They're leaving to alternative social media websites because people don't want to tolerate the crap on there. The second thing, if he's smart, if he's got a brain cell, is to just run it way more like the previous owners. Be a bit more moderate in the way you're running things. You don't have to do exactly the same. There are problems with older Twitter as well, which he can fix. But if he needs to do essentially a U-turn on the way he's running things right now.
100%.
That could save Twitter.
Well, let's keep our eye on it then, see what happens.
It's funny though, do you know what? If Twitter goes down, I'm enjoying it so much. All these fake accounts are brilliant.
Yeah, but then it's also difficult. Twitter became, when it was launched and stuff, and I guess before Elon Musk took over, yes, there's a lot of misinformation on there, but it became a really good source of information for people and to... for journalists to get information quickly and things like that. And it's kind of a shame because it's the only real social media platform like it. And it would be a shame to see it go. I'm not a massive Twitter user, but I know that, it has become a really useful platform for a lot of people.
But it's also, it's even before Musk is going down the pan, it's becoming more like Facebook now. It's become a right-wing hell site now. Twitter's always been more progressive, right? A lot of times they say the Twitter echo chamber because it's a bit more left than the rest of society, right? But especially in the last 6 months, I've noticed a huge spike in just right-wing accounts. The rise of the GB News lot, and it's become a horrible nest of just bigotry and hatred anyway. So I think it's not, Twitter isn't on the downward trajectory because of Musk. It was already on a downward trajectory. It's just that Elon Musk just threw a dynamite in it.